Hi and Assalamualaikum to everyone. So today I will explain to you guys the chapter 5, the risk and term structure of interest rate. Before that, I will introduce myself first. My name is Nurul Mahira Zulfikri from the ECO531B and here are the contents of this video slide. Okay, now let's get through with the risk structure of interest rate first. Okay, what is the function risk structure? It is measure bonds with the same maturity period generate different interest rate. And we have a risk structure influenced by three factors: default risk, liquidity risk, and income tax. Okay, for the first factor is default risk. Default occurs when the issuer of the bond is unable or unwilling to make interest payments when promised or pay off the face value when the bond matures. At this part, it explains that corporate bond is default high risk and government bond is default free bonds. Okay, let's look at the effect default risk on interest rate on the next slide. We start with corporate bond market. It is referred to private. If they issue a bond, they are bond often called at high default rates, especially when the company is experiencing financial issues. Thus, when it is high risk, it means that after maturity period, the issuer of the bond are unable to repay people's money and dividend. Therefore, corporate bond has lower demand and the graph shows the demand curve of corporate bond shift leftward and the price fall from PC1 to PC2. The quantity moved rightward Q1 to Q2 and lastly the interest has increased. Next, we move to government bond market. Government bond market is issued by the government and anything produced by the government is default free risk, which means no risk at all. So for example, if you buy government bond for 3 years and after the maturity has come, government will repay your money together with the dividend. Therefore, graph shows that demand curve for government bonds shift rightward and the price moved upward from PG1 to PG2 and the quantity moved rightward and interest rate decreased. Okay, now we move to the second factor, which is liquidity. Liquidity is something we can change it into cash very quick and cheaply. So here it explains about government and corporate bond liquidity. Government bonds are the most liquid of all long-term bonds because they are so widely traded, easiest to sell quickly, and the cost of selling them is low. Meanwhile, corporate bonds are not as liquid because fewer bonds for any one corporation are traded. Let's look at the liquidity between these two bonds. Let's start with corporate bond market. Corporate bond market is very low of liquidity and very difficult to convert from bond to cash. And if people buy this bond before the maturity period, it will be very hard for them to sell and gain some cash. Therefore, lower demand will affect the curve of corporate bond to leftward. The quantity corporate bond also move leftward from Q1 to Q2 and the price of bond decreased from PC1 to PC2 and the interest also has increased. For the government bond market, it is highly liquid or known as very easy to convert bond to cash. Thus, people will confident to buy this bond. When the demand higher, the demand curve will shift rightward and the quantity also move rightward and the price of bond also move upward, interest also decreased. Okay, now let's move to the income tax consideration. Another way of understanding why municipal bonds have lower interest rate than treasury bond is to supply and demand analysis at the next slide. First, we start with government bond market. Government bond market is a free tax bond. Free tax bond is when people buy government bond after the maturity period, people will get back their money. The dividend or profit that people receive from government is a free tax. Thus, it will cause high demand and the demand curve shift rightward. And the price also moves upward from PG1 to PG2 and the interest also decreased. Okay, for the corporate bond market, it is high taxable, which means when people buy corporate bond after the maturity period, people will get their money and some of their dividend have to spend to pay the tax to the government, and this will cause curve shift leftward, the quantity also shift leftward, the price fall, and the interest also increased.